Hey guys, I want to do a quick little video over what they call the October lull and my strategies, as well as the reason why I think that there is such thing as October lull. Number one is going to be just the amount of pressure on your piece of property. Prior to those last 2 weeks in October, those tend to be the 2 weeks is what they call like the October lull. But if you hunt smart, you use wind, thermals, use weather patterns prior to that, you're still going to have successful hunts. And but that number one is going to be always just the over amount of pressure on your piece of property. Now, if you're just going out there and shooting does or whatever just to get out there in nature, that's great. But this is going to be more of just to kind of understand of the reason why the October lull happens. The number two item is going to be you're going to have a lot more oaks start dropping their the acorns out there. So basically, the deer's feeding pattern is really going to transition more into staying in the woodlots there, not moving a whole lot because they don't have to. But it's also a great time that if you do identify, using some of your cellular trail cameras, move those cameras into some of those oak tree locations midday. See what happens. Maybe you can pick up a good mature deer, to go in there and hunt. But I think you'll start understanding a lot more about your deer herd and the movement, within that time period. So, the transitioning into those oaks, you're definitely just got to, again, hunt smart. Use those big cold fronts. Use those cellular trail cameras, to your benefit, and get in there. And if you got a deer that harvest, go for it. I also think that that's kind of the time period where you're gonna start seeing a lot of your soybeans transition. They're gonna get a lot browner. Every year is gonna be different, and then also when they were planted, all as well comes into play here. But once those acorns start dropping, there's just a huge amount of transition within those deer, and it also takes your deer away from your agriculture field, as well as any kind of food source, such as your food plots, or if you're in a state where you're able to run corn, where you've seen those deer continuously hit the corn, and then all of a sudden they're just gone. Now, I do think that there is something, those bucks are starting to really make a change. Once they lose that velvet, they can start identifying, especially those big mature deer, that it's just a matter of time before we start having those big cold fronts, and then that rut time period gets in there. So I do think that there is something there when it comes to, your big mature deer just not being as active. Now, again, without mid-October, you get you a nice cold front morning, hunt that evening before, and then hunt that morning and try to get those deer, coming back into that bedding. And I think that will really play off well for you guys. So I at least wanted to do a quick little video over what my strategy is, as well as, what I think about the October lull, how it gets caused from. So, again, number one is going to be your pressure on your piece of property, keeping that low, hunting smart, hunting those correct weather patterns. And that should eliminate a lot of that, what they call the October lull. Number two, is that transitioning from your green food sources or your food sources that you've been seeing them, all throughout the summer, into that acorn pattern. And then number three is just going to be, those bucks just resting up prior to that rut or that pre-rut time period. So I appreciate you guys liking the video. Hopefully this helps you guys out in understanding what they call the October lull. Like always, best luck on your upcoming hunt.